I'd like to welcome everyone to today's webinar, What's New with Liquidware, and introducing Liquidware Sparks. I'm Jason E. Smith. I'm Vice President of Alliances and Marketing, and I'm pleased to have with me today two of our foremost subject matter experts, Chris Walker, Stratusphere Subject Matter Expert, and Jack Smith, FlexApp Subject Matter Expert. They'll be assisting today specifically with some of the things that they've built and the demos that will be featured. Make sure you stay with us to the end because it'll increase your chances to win the Goonies Lego set, popular giveaway this time of year with the holidays coming up. Huge set, almost $330 value. You can have up to 3 chances to win. You registered for this webinar, so everyone that has registered for this webinar and is listening gets at least 1 chance to win. If you fully attend this webinar through the end, you'll get another chance to win. And if you join the Liquidware community on Slack by the middle part of this month, you will have additional chance to win. The winner will be announced via Slack on or about the 16th of December. So that's a great giveaway, and we'd love to give that away to one of you in time for the holidays. As we get started, I always like to tell everyone about our solution set because it's unparalleled in the market. We offer the only digital workspace solution suite. We go beyond decks, and what we mean by that is not only do we have excellent digital employee experience solutions in Stratusphere and Command Control, but we can take action based on a negative or positive decks, and we can trim those things up and get them right-sized with Profile Unity in the configuration area for full user and app management capabilities there that are context-aware and a robust profile that'll follow the user from desktop to desktop, ending the migration cycle. Next, we also have application portability. FlexApp really provides a seamless way to provide modern app delivery with dynamically attached applications. Applications are never installed, they're simply attached, keeping base images light, tight, and clean. And as mentioned before, we do very well in the area of DEX monitoring and optimization with our leading solution, Stratusphere UX, that perhaps monitors deeper and wider than any other DEX solution on the market, with trustworthy data that can help provide unparalleled analytics to support your complete lifecycle of digital workspace progress, and real-time DEX remediation with Command Control. That complements the historic view you get with Stratusphere UX, letting you control DEX with innovative real-time remediation, which is designed to allow monitoring and remediation of remote endpoints from anywhere. So you can start and stop processes. You can even take over a machine if you need to with remote control, and you need to standardize on a remote control solution to help you with your help desk. This comprehensive digital workspace solution suite goes across all your desktops, virtual, cloud, and physical, managing all the Windows experiences and also the way that you get to them with your Thin OSs, your Linux OSs, and more. So check out our entire suite on liquidware.com. Now let's get to the heart of today's presentation, Liquidware Sparks. We are pleased to announce a new innovative offering called Liquidware Sparks. So what is a Liquidware Spark? They're lightweight yet powerful integration scripts or extensions that enhance one or more of the Liquidware solutions that you saw on the previous screen. They're built by experts, whether it's our subject matter experts that you'll hear from today, our engineers and senior engineers that are on staff, partners of Liquidware, and customers or the community members. They've had hands-on experience with our solutions and have added value by building in a lightweight integration called a Liquidware Spark. These are shared openly right there on our website. You can download and go, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. They're community supported. Sparks run adjacent to Liquidware solutions. They're not running in the path, so there's no worry about being highly available because they help you manage our solutions and digest the data. Our products are not dependent on the Sparks. The primary support, feedback, and peer collaboration are via the Liquidware community, which is Slack-based, and I'll give you links to that shortly. So where can you go out and grab the Liquidware Sparks apps and add-ons? You can simply go to our website, Go to the Sparks area under the Resources tab, and you'll learn all about Sparks and be reminded of the things that we featured in today's webinar, how they're built by experts, shared openly, they extend the value, accelerate adoption, and they encourage the collaboration of the community. Here's some of the Sparks in action, and you can download them straight from here. So each Spark is featured here in a blue block. We're going to go through these today. And then they're supported by this link to our Liquidware community. So there you have it, right there on our website under the Resources tab for more information. Now I'm going to jump right to describing some of the most popular Liquidware Sparks that are already created and already available today. We have a Liquidware Spark for Stratusphere UX called PowerTools app. It was developed by Chris Walker, who's with us today, and he'll give us a demonstration of this in a moment. He is the Stratusphere Subject Matter Expert, so he's long had hands on the solution. He designed this to simplify single-user diagnostics. Just simply enter a user or machine name, press one button to run hundreds of tests against your Stratusphere data, and this Spark is great for both experienced users and novices to quickly find common issues. Another Spark that he has built is SQL Runner for Stratusphere UX. It's a command line executable that can be utilized to extract Stratusphere UX data for use by other third-party tools. As I said, we have Chris with us today, and he's going to give us an overview of these two Sparks. Chris?
Thanks, Jason, and welcome everyone. I'm going to talk about the Stratusphere UX PowerTools app. This is a small executable application that I've written to help our customers with large environments or even small environments to do faster diagnostics of the system. So programming in hundreds of tests into behind just really a single button click. So let's talk about a little bit what this is. Stratusphere UX PowerTools app is a small executable. I myself, Chris Walker, write this, supported by the field SEs. So please don't call our support team. They'll just send you back to me or to us, the field SEs. And you can perform hundreds of tests behind just one button. So I type in a user ID, I select their machine, I press the Run PowerTools button. It's looking for CPU spikes, overwhelmed memory, too much disk I/O, not enough disk I/O, Wi-Fi information, remote display, memory leaks, all of that literally behind a single button. So my customers that are even very advanced users use this because literally it's hundreds of clicks in Stratusphere where they can just press a single button inside of the interface. So what do you get in the download? When you go to the download site, you're going to get a list of all the tests that are performed with their thresholds and dates completed, basically which version was supported by that particular test, a list of tests that are still to be completed. Yes, there are hundreds of tests that customers have told me they'd like me to add in. Hey, can you test for this? Hey, can you test for this? So I'm adding those in a little bit at a time. Example screenshots of the system, and in another zip file is the actual executable, the app, and the required DLLs. The DLLs are purely for security purposes to talk securely to the Stratusphere database. You must contact a Liquidware field SE to have them open up the Stratusphere UX database for read-only access. So the PowerTools app talks directly to the database. You can contact us at sparktools@liquidware.com. Myself and the field SEs monitor this, and we can get you the information to open up your database for read-only access. So what I did on my system, I created a C program files Liquidware PowerTools app directory, put the PowerTools app and the required DLLs in the same directory. They have to be in the same directory in order to get the security purposes. And then I just put an icon on my desktop to execute it. All right, so a quick demo of the Stratusphere PowerTools app. What this is a small executable. I have it attached to multiple Stratusphere pods, so it allows me to talk across multiple pods. I could have a Eastern, a Western, an Asian pod of Stratusphere. They're all connected here in the PowerTools app. So go to my search screen. Notice here I can do user mode, fully qualified machine, or short machine name. So I'm an 18-year-old kid on the help desk. Chris Walker's called in looking for help. You have to type in the full user ID. There is no type ahead or anything like that, and it must be exactly the user ID. Hit search. It then shows me the machines that Chris Walker has been seen on. So he said he's having a problem with his physical laptop. It just queried the SQL database, came back and gave me the make, model, serial number of the machine, how many monitors are plugged into it, what agent version it's running. Um, Am I running out of hard drive space that would turn yellow or red? The last time it was rebooted will also turn yellow or red. Up here on the top right hand corner, if the machine was AD integrated, it would give me the CN, DN. My machine is AAD integrated, so it doesn't come up with that data, no Entra ID joined. Now I run the PowerTools app. What this is doing is using that user ID and that machine name to query the database and run specific tests about what's going on with that machine and possible problems inside of the machine. So here it has failed on the Wi-Fi information and the latency to my back to Stratusphere. So this is the agent latency from my machine to Stratusphere. Notice there I've had a peak of 2,000 milliseconds on my latency from my machine to Stratusphere. Also, I've got a Wi-Fi issue. Then you have other tabs that show up here. So my CPU information, here's my CPU data, a CPU queue, CPU temperature. If you have the latest version of the agent, you'll get CPU temperature. Then you can get memory, disk, network information as well. Now I have an example where maybe the user says he needs more memory. So I can come in here and look at the memory information and see that he's always under 40%. He did get a little bit into the page file right here, but he's under 40% of the memory allocated inside the system. So he actually doesn't need more memory. He may have had a memory leak on this particular day, but that doesn't require me to add more memory because he's got 64 gig of RAM in this machine. As I can see, their memory allocated right there, and he's only using about 26% of it at any one point in time. So request denied. Wi-Fi data. So I've got a Wi-Fi problem at my house. Notice here I'm changing access points. So I have a mesh network at my house. I'm changing access points. I'm changing frequencies. I may even be changing channels. And why is that? If my machine's not moving, why am I bouncing back and forth between different access points? This also will have a big effect on VPN technology because they do not like to have their BSID or their MAC address they're talking to change. Some VPN technologies will actually tear themselves down and rebuild them. Then I can come and look at my battery status, active NICs. This is help you determine, hey, when was the VPN on? It does the Wi-Fi and the Ethernet active at the same time. There's actually a test for that. But this shows you all the active NICs, their speed, any Wi-Fi data, IP addresses, and MAC addresses that were associated with that device. Can come in very handy for like when did the VPN actually active, hide inactive NICs. So basically behind that one Run PowerTools button, I was able to run multiple tests. If this was a VDI machine, you would also have the remote display protocol here with your PC over IP, ICA, RDP, RFX data, blast data would have shown up here as well. Then I can generate a report, open the report location, and that would be a Word document that has all of this data in that Word document. So if I need to document that this user actually needs more memory, it's actually in that particular document. I then do clear search. I'm ready for the next user. Okay, so the second Spark that we're going to talk about today is called the Stratusphere SQL Runner. I developed this, Chris Walker, as we talked about earlier. These are kind of written by the field SEs to help our customers with certain kind of issues in the environment. You can also send an email to sparktools@liquidware.com to get access to open up your read-only database so that the tool can access your system. So the SQL Runner is basically a small executable with some DLLs for secure connection, written by myself or the field SEs. And a lot of my customers are use this instead of having to power up pgadmin or development tools. It's a very small, compact executable. They feed it a SQL file. It goes to the SQL database, gets the data, and returns a comma delimited. General usage for this is large amounts of data. So I need to query 10,000 machines for something very specific about them, or complex queries that the API can't do. The API today cannot cross certain boundaries inside the environment. Like I want the serial number of the machines, but I need the performance data. That would actually be two different API calls, one for inventory and one for performance information. So an API call is very efficient at that. Inside the download, you'll get the Strat SQL Runner PDF. This is just general usage, the command line options, error message, some example SQL actually comes with it, zip of the app, and the required DLLs. Notice you must contact Field SE in order to get us open up the read-only access to the database so this program can work. Now you can email sparktools@liquidware.com as well for assistance. For myself, I watch that list and so do all of Field SEs. Here's some example of the actual execution. So it's pretty simple. You run the Strat SQL runner at a command prompt, give it the database IP or DNS name, the SQL file, the output file name, and optional parameters. You can actually have it replace things inside of the SQL statement. So if you do an A_start date and put that inside your SQL, you can replace it with an actual start date to fill into that information as well. Log file names, database access, and then exit codes at the bottom. Did it execute successfully? Was there a problem? Could it not talk to the database? Or an error in the actual SQL statement as well? This is where the logging will come in handy to make sure that it actually completed properly as well. What I did on my machine, I just created a C/strat SQL runner, dropped my executables in here with the required DLLs. Notice there my session info.sql, so that's what I pointed it to. And then it come back and gave me a session.csv file for my output, and also wrote a log file out as well to collect all the data. You can put those into different directories if you want to with the proper pathing information. Here's just an example run of it at a command prompt, but this is entirely a command prompt type application. It also shows you, so if you run the executable with no input, it will show you its options as well and what you can do with it. The main reasons for using this: large amounts of data needed to be accessed or complex queries that the API cannot do. Please work with your local Liquidware Field SE and they can help get it up and running for you. Thank you very much. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you, Chris, for that great overview. Those two Sparks are going to be incredibly helpful for our customers that run Stratusphere UX. By the way, if you have any questions about these Liquidware Sparks, go ahead and put them in the chat window, and we'll get to them as we can, and then we'll take even more questions at the end. Moving right along with some of the other popular Sparks that are available today, SmartUpdate for FlexApp was developed by Jack Smith, who's also with us today. As a reminder, he is the Profile Unity and FlexApp Subject Matter Expert here at Liquidware, so he's had a lot of hands-on with the solutions. He's developed a PowerShell-based app to manage package updates for FlexApp. Incredibly, this works across Chocolatey, Winget, Configuration Manager, Profile Unity, and Microsoft Intune. The whole point of this Spark is to ensure that you can have easy access to updates of your packages. So when a vendor has published updates, you can grab those, you can bring them right into FlexApp, and then kick off the rest of the FlexApp automated packaging process. Jack's going to demo this for us, but I want to tell you about one of the other ones that he's going to demo right before he starts. He's developed a launch tester for FlexApp. It is a PowerShell-based testing framework for any FlexApp application that you packaged up. What it does is it provides a web-based GUI and a command line interface to test individual FlexApps, and it gives you this in an easy-to-read format. It can also run batch tests across multiple applications. So without further ado, Jack, show them what you've built with your Liquidware Sparks.
Thank you. Today we're going to talk about FlexApp automation, and specifically the SmartUpdate Spark. Now, the first thing to understand is about automation. This is a part of Profile Unity licensing, comes free with your purchases. This absolutely can be downloaded off our website, and I'll show that to you in a moment. But the general idea is that you have a primary, or I call it kind of like the job manager, and then you have various different nodes for those jobs to go to. Now you're going to take things like applications with silent switches, Chocolatey installs, Winget installs, etc. It collects up all the jobs in the control plane and then sends the jobs out to the various different nodes. And of course, you can have one, or you can have hundreds of these nodes handling all of the capture processes. What happens is it will record the whole entire capture process. And then once that capture process is done, finalize it, finish it, add it into the inventory. And then if it's a desktop operating system, roll back the operating system automatically. And then put it in another state to where it's ready to go and the jobs get sent to it once it becomes available. Now, that being all worked into the whole automation component is where the FlexApp Smart Update comes into play. So we're going to make an assumption that you already have the primary node installed. You already have the various different node agents ready to go. And then we're going to come into here and we're going to go for updates that need to be done. And there's 3 major repositories for your updates: Chocolatey, Winget, or Configuration Manager. Within the Chocolatey and Winget worlds, you're going to fill out a CSV of the names of your applications, the command lines of your applications, command line arguments of your applications, and size of those applications. Same thing on the Chocolatey or Winget side: name of the application, size, etc., etc., etc. You can even add in filter names if you need to add in the filters. The other part about the Winget component is it does use a specialized PowerShell script that needs to be on those node systems to be able to do Winget as system. Now, I have my CSVs listed in here. I even have the PowerShell path location. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit scan for updates. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to go out to Winget and scan for the updates in that CSV. It's also going to check them against what was in my inventory in my Profile Unity server. So within my Profile Unity server, I may have a bunch of different applications that are already pre-populated. In this case, I have about 100 and something applications in my system here. And you can see lots of different applications. Now, the reason why this is coming up and showing all of these is because I don't have any of those applications, and that's why the current version isn't showing. But if I did have zip.zip and chrome.chrome and notepad.notepad, they would show the current version of the application with that name and the version and the size. Then it's a matter of selecting the applications you want and processing the updates. The Configuration Manager option is a little bit different because Configuration Manager doesn't have typically consistent naming. So I'm going to go ahead and connect out to my Configuration Manager. Minimum requirements for that is you do have to have the Config Manager console installed that has all the PowerShell components and pieces. Once you have that in, this will connect right up. And then it's a matter of what applications do I want to do. So I'm going to do that 7-zip application. I'm going to do that Google Chrome application. I'm going to do Adobe Reader, and I'm going to select update. Now, there's one extra step: editing, right? So I don't have a consistent name for these applications. So I may need to change around the consistent naming patterns for my applications, right? I don't have an app called Google Chrome 2. I just have an app called Google Chrome. I don't have the app in here as Adobe DC Reader. I just have it in there as Adobe Reader. And maybe my versions might be a little off. So I believe this is a 20.0 is the full versioning of this application. You can even see it did pull in the extra machine arguments. Another thing is noticing that these are all MSIs. I don't have to do the /q. It's automatic. The /q is going to be added in. If you have any other applications, EXEs, etc., or if you're doing things through PowerShell, VBScript, COM, BAT, whatever, it will automatically determine the interpreter. So I don't have to call command to then call MSI or any of those types of things. Once I've made my changes, I can say, all right, I've selected those changes, and it will actually go and check the versions. So I'm going to process 7-zip because it's newer. I'm going to process Adobe Reader because it's newer, but I'm not going to process Google Chrome because it is older. The one I have that I want to process is, 1,000 or 111. The other one I have in my inventory is 141. So a bit newer. Also, I'm seeing that 7-zip is not actually in my inventory. So maybe I misnamed that. I can hit cancel and go back and make edits if I need to and rechange the namings however it is that I want to do. Now, once that application is sent and done, then we come over to the Profile Unity side of the house. where I want to assign my applications to my configurations. Now, the last thing I really want to do in my configs is go and try and find the new versions and drag and drop. So in this case, this also as well looks at the configurations that are, or the applications that are within your established configuration, looks at the inventory, the Profile Unity FlexApp inventory, and then says, this is what's in your version or in your config. This is what's available in your inventory. And then it's just a matter of selecting them. You can preview the changes, copy this out into a change request ticket, and then commit the changes. Then commit change is basically the same as hitting the save update. Or you can even do the deploy commit, which then would be the update and deploy options. So you have that as an available option to you. And the last option is Intune. Now, if you make a FlexApp 1, it's just a matter of dropping the FlexApp 1 executable into the source folder, or multiple FlexApp 1s into the source folder, setting your metadata. So in this case, it's going to call it FlexApp dash whatever the package executable name is. It's going to actually look in the package, get the version information that was tagged through the Profile Unity inventory when you capture the application, put all the proper command lines and install lines, and then it's just a matter of start upload. And it's going to take every single one of those executables, do a Intune win wrap around it, and then upload it right into your tenant. And of course, that tenant information is going to be stored over here in the settings tab. So once you've kind of gotten used to the flow here, it's really just a matter of, do I need updates, send the updates, update my configurations, or ultimately update the applications up into Intune and put those applications up there. As a continuation of the automation process of the applications, of course, we would want to do testing. So there's another utility for FlexApp testing. Let's call it the FlexApp launch tester here. And it's a matter of scanning against your inventory. So I'm going to go ahead and click a scan on the inventory. And it's going to pull down all 187 odd applications I might have. And I'm going to select a couple applications for testing purposes, just to see which ones do what. So in this case, I'm going to select Google Chrome. I'm going to select perhaps Paint. We're going to select the latest revision of Power BI. And I don't know, let's try the latest revision of Slack. Now that I've selected the applications that I want to launch test, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to export out that CSV. Now, as you can see, everything with this script runs off of the network, right? So in this case, it's going to run this batch, which then runs the runner, reads your CSV. You do have to download FFmpeg and put it somewhere because that's what does the video recording. You can make adjustments of how long and all those fun parts, and then where those captures ultimately going to go. So let's say I wanted to change that to 45 seconds. Let's go ahead and make that small change. Update the command. It'll make the update here. Then it's a matter of copying that command in my clipboard, coming over to a workstation, logging in as a standard user. In this case, I'm going to log in as a standard user, but I'm going to use a blank Profile Unity configuration for my testing. So it's not going to load profiles or anything like that, just the basics of really nothing for testing purposes. And then it's just a matter of opening up my terminal. And I'm not opening that terminal as administrator. I may have to grab that command line one more time. There we go. Then we're going to paste the command line in with all the commands, hit enter, and it's going to fire off and go. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to mount the application into the operating system, prepare the video, take a video of that application. You can see here, I'm mounting the app into the operating system. And then it's going to launch the internal application. In this case, I believe we're starting off with Chrome. So there's Chrome. It's going to record, going to start launching that internal executable. Cool. Chrome launched. Fantastic. It's going to eventually kill off the executable or Chrome, turn off the application, close up the setting or close up the screenshot and the video recording, and then move on to the next application. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit here. At the end of all of the of the applications being mounted and tested into the operating system, you're going to end up with a directory or a batch file of tests with an HTML. And it's going to give you a report here. And you can see in this case that this is a pre-done report I have here, but Firefox, Chrome, Notepad, etc. And I can look at the screenshots and go, oh, that's not an error. That's just, it's trying to do an update. Okay. Power BI. Maybe I want to look at the recording. How long did it take to mount? How long did it take for the application to show up in the operating system or launch? And we can move that along and go, oh, okay. So it took about 50 seconds for the app to launch. Not so bad. Power BI tends to take a little bit of time. But this gives you a general idea of what happened when I mounted the application, what happened when I launched the application, to at least give you that initial verification of, did the app even launch? Did it work? And that's what this is going to do and help you with.
Thanks, Jack. The innovation that you just saw in those FlexApp Sparks that Jack has built, this is one of the fastest ways for us to be able to get these to market so our customers can enjoy this additional functionality. You may or may not see some of this functionality show up soon directly within our products, but for now, you have these excellent Liquidware Sparks. Now I'm going to get right to some of the other Sparks that are available today. Two others. One is for Profile Unity. It's called a LoopZip GUI. It's for Profile Unity. It was developed by Greg Peck. He's a senior solutions architect here at Liquidware. It's a PowerShell-based app providing a graphical interface for the Profile Unity LoopZip utility. It simplifies the management of the Profile Unity archives, and you can see those there, .lu, .wr, and 7 zip files, etc. So you can have access to those from a GUI to be able to manage those. And another one that you can go out and you can download today is the VMware to Omnissa Horizon Agent Silent Install Script for both Profile Unity and Stratusphere UX. This one was developed by a community member. Very popular guy out there, has long led a VMUG. He's also Omnissa and VMware community member. He built this Spark as a script to help install Omnissa Horizon client tools when Profile Unity is already installed in an environment. So if you're a partner and you've bumped into an environment and you need to integrate Profile Unity with Omnissa Horizon, this is an easy way to roll out Liquidware solutions. So check out those Sparks also available on our website. Now, I discussed earlier that the Sparks are supported by our community. They're also supported by these members that have built these Sparks. They're members of the Liquidware community. Go out there and join. If you're not in Slack already, I'm going to give you a barcode that you can go out there and you can bump into that community really easily, and you can navigate down and you can join the Sparks channel. And there's other data in there. If you have not joined our Slack community yet, it is rich in helpful tips for all of our Liquidware solutions, from Profile Unity, FlexApp, Command Control, and Stratusphere. Here's a quick barcode that'll get you directly into that community. You can grab that on your phone, just add yourself to that group, and then you'll be in some of the best hands possible to learn more about the Liquidware Sparks that we featured today on this webinar, and more about our solution set, all in one place. Another thing I wanted to mention, and we'll get to the more Q&As here in a minute, but we also are in Gartner Peer Insights. All 4 of our solutions out there. It's time for the holidays, and if you want a $25 gift card at Amazon, you can go right over there to Gartner Peer Insights, and you can make $25 per review in there if you would scan one of these and give feedback. We're always glad to have those reviews out there on Gartner Peer Insights, and it helps us with the Voice of Community Awards. And remember, if you join the Liquidware community, you'll get that additional chance to win the Goonies Lego set. We've got other interesting webinars coming soon. We're going to stay online, and we're going to answer your questions in the background. So please go ahead and submit those via Zoom. Thank you for joining our webinar today, and we are so glad to have you with us as part of the Liquidware community.